regular council meeting to order. Kylie O'Brien, will you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May I have a roll call?
McKinney. Becknick. Here. Heights.
Here.
Bertone.
Here.
Shaver.
Here.
Saracen.
Here. Motion to excuse Mr. McKinney. Second. He'll come in. We'll adjust.
He was just
We'll
going
adjust.
by when I was pulling in with his golf cart. No, he was going
Well,
home.
when he comes in, we'll retract
So we
and
need a motion to excuse Mr. McKinney.
Okay, and so we just poll.
You
Yes?
got it, yes. So,
Okay,
Mr.
great.
Bertone.
Mr. Bertone.
aye.
Mr. Saracen.
Aye.
Becknick.
Aye.
Heights.
Aye.
Shaver.
Aye.
Did I get them all?
You got them all.
I got it, okay.
Can I have a motion to approve the regular council meeting held May 3rd?
So moved.
Second.
Saracen.
Aye.
Becknick.
Aye.
Heights.
Aye.
Bertone.
Aye.
Shaver.
Abstain.
Okay. I'm going to change the agenda here a little bit tonight. There's some folks in the back of the room. I think Mr. McKinney is down here. Just as we thought it would.
Mr. Saracen, motion to recognize Mr. McKinney's entry into the meeting.
Second.
Bertone.
Aye.
Saracen.
Aye.
Becknick.
Aye.
Heights.
Aye.
Shaver.
Aye.
McKinney.
Aye.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and move up resolution number 2022-45 and resolution number 2022-46. Resolution number 2022-45 is a resolution administratively recording the compensation of certain officials and employees of the Village of Fairport Harbor declaring an emergency. But before I ask for a vote on that, Chief Coran, if you could explain what we're doing with one of the positions in police, which has to do with resolution number 2022-46.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Mayor.
All right with your honor, thank you.
Yes. The one thing I had to do is, given limitations to our complement to the police department under that section of resolution, is that we have certain steps, as you can see in the exhibit here, police officer D, police officer C, police officer B, and then we did have what was known as police officer A. I changed the title to it to Class A detective, which basically just took its place. So there really wasn't too much of a modification with the actual position itself. It just added to it with the title, which is common with many other law enforcement agencies, and then I changed up the job description just a small bit to accommodate it, and also the requirements. So there's really no other change to the complement itself.
So there's a benefit. What's the benefit?
The benefit is that with this position here, there'll be certain more work in terms of criminal investigations with that title, where the officer who we have here today is going to get hopefully promoted to this position, the ability to handle these types of crimes with that title, and it'll accommodate our police department, also benefit the community and as a whole our department.
So it's a position we needed for a long time, in your opinion.
A position that we did need for quite a while.
Thank you, Chief.
Very, very good. So resolution number 2022-45, a resolution administratively recording the compensation of certain officials and employees of the Village of Airport and declaring it an emergency.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Move to suspend.
Second.
Suspend. Saracen.
Aye.
Becknick.
Aye.
McKinney.
Aye.
Heights.
Aye.
Bertone.
Aye.
Shaver.
Aye.
think so.
Another,
And then you gotta do the next
One more
Oh,
time.
right, and then on the resolution, I'm sorry, Saracen,
Aye.
Becknick.
Aye.
I never get this right, I swear.
You'll get it.
McKinney,
Aye.
Heights,
aye.
Bertone.
Aye.
Shaver.
Aye.
Thank you.
Resolution number 2022-46, a resolution promoting Officer Kylie O'Brien to the position of Class A Detective for the Village of Fairport Harbor, Ohio, and declaring an emergency.
Move to adopt.
Second,
Move to suspend.
second.
On suspend, Becknick,
Aye.
Heights.
Aye.
McKinney,
Aye.
Bertone,
Aye.
Shaver,
Aye.
Saracen.
Aye.
On the resolution, Becknick,
Aye.
Heights,
Aye.
McKinney,
Aye.
Bertone,
Aye.
Shaver,
Aye.
Saracen.
Aye.
Kylie? Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Kylie O'Brien,
Henry O'Brien,
solemnly swear
solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
the codified ordinances
the codified ordinances
of the Village of Fairport Harbor,
of the Village of Fairport Harbor,
and that I will faithfully,
and I will faithfully,
honestly, and impartially
honestly, and impartially
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the Office of Class A Patrol
of the Office of Class A Patrol
Officer Title Detective,
Detective
I didn't write it, of the Village of Fairport Harbor,
of the Village of Fairport
Lake County,
County,
State of Ohio,
State of Ohio,
during my term of office.
and the County Office.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Detective.
And Kylie, you can sit there. Congrats again. Okay. So before Mr. Lyon goes on a long-winded rant, if those that came for that part of the ceremony would like to leave now, would be your time. Thank you. So for our village solicitor, Mr. Lyons,
No report, Mr. Mayor.
thank you, sir.
You could be much longer than that.
I don't have anything to report on. Oh, I do have something for this evening. So we need to have a special meeting. It looks like it's probably going to be July 5th for those councilmen that just came to the meeting because two councilmen that can't make June 21st. This is to to have a public hearing and then pass the tax budget. That has to be done by July 15th. Our next scheduled meeting is July 19th. So I would propose we meet on July 5th at 5 p.m. here at the senior center, or 5:30. 5:30?
5:30.
5:30 work for everybody?
Yes.
Make it so. Mr. McKinney, you good?
Sorry, what was the time again?
5:30 on the 5th.
I'll make the
We'll
motion.
probably
July,
be here-
yes.
Yeah, July 5th.
I'll make a motion for July 5th, 5:30 special meeting. Village Hall or here, Mayor?
Here.
Right here.
Second.
Bertone,
Aye.
Saracen,
Aye.
McKinney,
Aye.
Becknick,
Aye.
Heights,
Aye.
Shaver.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. From our village administrator, Amy Cossack.
Okay, our spring summer newsletter went out before the Memorial Day holiday. You should have received them at your homes. They're also on our website page and our village Facebook page. Since we've hit the summer months, Lake Erie Living Magazine and Northeast Ohio Parent Magazine has called up for interviews about Fairport Harbor. They want to know where the best beach is to go, and of course we say here. And the best road trip destination is also what I've been interviewed for. So that publication is actually coming out next month, Lake Erie Living Magazine. Capital funds, I submitted a capital grant application requesting $400,000 for a marina, and I'm happy to report that we received $350,000 that will be designated for the marina. I want to thank our legislators who assisted us with this funding. We had a lot of people cheering for us to get this money to go through, so we're very appreciative. Mardi Gras Parade and Festival. There will be no carnival rides this year for the Mardi Gras event. They have teamed up with a company called Northeast Ohio Extreme Games. They'll have family-friendly games for children of all ages. And if you would like to have a float or participate in the parade, you have until June 17th to enter. I submitted a community development block grant for 3rd Street from High to Eagle. The request for this application is $245,000. Total project is $300,000, with the village providing $55,000 from our street lighting fund. We're supposed to hear the announcement on whether or not we get funded for the next section of the streetscape by June 27th is what I'm hearing. There will be a 4th of July house decorating contest once again this year. You have to register by Friday, June 24th. You email me or call Village Hall with your name, address, and phone number if you'd like to participate. We will judge on June 30th, and there'll be a 1st, 2nd, and 3rd place winner like we have in years past, and we'll be posting the results to social media on July 1st, so you get to hear who the winner is. And finally, there will be community yard sale this Saturday, June 11th from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Please call Village Hall if you'd like to be added to the list. And we will be posting, I believe on Thursday, the office posts the list where all the sales will be happening, and we'll put it on our Facebook page and the website. That's my report.
Mayor, 2 things for Amy.
Yes, please.
Streetscape looks great, number 1, really does. And extreme games, does this include Dunk the Mayor?
There will be a dunk tank, yes. And
I thought that was just on community days.
There we go.
Not just on communities, there will be a dunk tank, and they did request
Yeah, they did ask.
celebrity guests to
Right.
dunk. So-
Should we make a motion?
Yeah.
I'll make sure I sign up for a slot. All right, thanks, Mr. Bertone. I just want to touch on the capital funds. Amy was sick when she actually put the application in. We all know how much work Amy does for this village and goes above and beyond for us. It was a big deal to get funded, and again, all of our senators at the state level and our state representative, Dan and Troy, I believe, Kenny Yuko was involved. I know Jerry Serino. I don't know who are Jamie Calendar, et cetera. And then I know the county commissioners were in full support of this as well. So it's going to take a number of years to put the funding pieces together for the marina project. I know there was talk more than one occasion in town already this spring that the marina's been delayed or not going to get funded, et cetera. None of that could be farther from the truth. This is going to take a little bit of time to put together and to flesh it out. But again, Amy is firmly behind pushing this through, and it will happen. So thanks, Amy, for that extraordinary effort. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you. If no one else has anything for Amy, Clyde is not here again this evening. That has to do with the, because we changed our meeting schedule. Clyde scheduled some other time off during that time. So if you guys have any questions on anything, we can get them to Clyde and then provide you with the answers.
Just one thing, Mayor, and Amy and I spoke about this earlier the week. Some of the sundry projects in the past included Independence Street, and I know that that wasn't executed. Can we make sure whatever we do this year, that is done before we spend any of the money anywhere else?
Since and Independence,
Yes. I think it was the curb project.
we should probably pull together a streets and sidewalks. Mr. Heights, what works for your schedule? We could try to do it.
I'm off for 80 days, so I'm all right.
You don't have to rub it in, Mr. Heights. So, but being that you're off for 80 days and on the golf course now,
That's true.
kind of what works for your schedule? We don't have to have anything done tonight, but if you want to reach out to the committee and we could put something together,
Okay.
we could try to do something after 5:30 on the 5th would
Okay.
be fine. Or if you wanted to try to get the committee, I don't know who's all on the committee off the top of my head. but if they're here for the 21st, we can meet here the 21st as well.
That'll work.
Okay, so we'll just have to publicize that. Okay?
One other item for that.
Yes.
If you're going to have that meeting, Mayor. So I spoke with Mr. Poto, former Councilman Poto. He had a request that we look at the railroad tracks again on High Street. Amy and I spoke about this again yesterday, and she's been pounding on their doors trying to get some response, and they don't really respond to us very well. So we'd like to put together a resolution where council, by resolution, has a request. If Mr. Lyons thinks he can support that kind of thing, that might give us the teeth required to get them to do something about this.
Anything that we could do to move that forward. It has not been for a lack of effort. I know citizens have contacted the railroad directly, too. So it's bad. It's known to be bad. They're aware of it. I think last year, for the first time, we actually put some patch in there because it got so bad.
Right.
We typically try to stay away from that because we don't want to be responsible for damaging the rail. There's some legal things involved with that, but sure, if a resolution, if council believes that that'll help, we'll absolutely support that.
And I'm sure Mr. Poto wouldn't mind if we let them know that we're going to give him their phone number so he can call them every day.
Just fine by me. Sure.
He would love that, so.
Done. Okay. We'll have that for the streets and sidewalks, or for the 5th. Yeah, we'll do that for the 5th. We'll have that resolution. Okay. From our fiscal officer, Christine Page.
All right. I'll just kind of glaze over the numbers. For the month of April, your revenues were $305,026.02. Expenditures were $293,911 or $911.97. Then in May, your revenues were $250,327.86. Your expenditures for the month of May were $356,702.46. Your reconciled cash balance is $3,047,376.56. We are actively moving the money that's in the handful of banks that you all operate in. We're moving the majority of it into Star, Ohio. When I started here, you were making about $1.48 in interest. And this last month, I'm so excited. This last month, we made $1,175 in investment interest. So, if nothing else, at least I'm paying for myself. So I'm real pleased with that part of all of this. It might be the most exciting part of all of it. So we are reconciled. It gets better and better all the time. It's still quite a lot. There are lots of different angles of revenue that comes in, so it's a lot to keep track of. I have enabled the staff in the office to do far more than they used to be able to do. So they've got their hands in a lot of things. It takes a little bit of the pressure off of me to be able to do some other things, and it opens the doors so that they can see what happens as well. And they've taken it all quite nicely and haven't expressed any desire to slash my tires or anything. So we must be doing just fine. Things are going well, and you are reconciled and you're making money. So
very good. Thank you for your efforts. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Very much.
You're welcome.
Any questions for Christine? Okay. I know Dave has got Radishy for zoning, has other obligations this evening as well. Chief Grant, could you maybe touch on, I always forget the address, I know the corner of East and 6th Street, the old factory. I know we had given notice and there was some activity there, but we still have some vehicles, and I know we're probably moving into the fine phase of that process now.
Yes, Mayor, and also that the address slips my mind too. It's the old, what we known as the old Denora building. Yes, we are in the complaint phase at this time with that property. The vehicles are still there. We sent an order basically to remove those vehicles that were being stored on the property, and that was never done. And we gave them a date for that. And we're in the complaint phase now, so we should have a complaint filed this week in Painesville Municipal Court.
Okay, thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
Mayor, what about the property right next door here as well?
Yeah, speak to that too, please.
That's being taken care of as well. We're already in the notification phase of the property owner. I did have to do some research as well because the last holders of that property have changed names, and it was kind of a confusing track down of who actually is, I guess, owns that property at this point. And I'm also working with Dave with that as well.
Is it ultimately the same owner, different name?
He apparently Dave knew that information because he worked with the LLC at some point. I don't have that information myself though. So.
Okay. You talking right here, the old VFW property? Mm-hmm. Yeah. How about that structure there? That's not. It's a supporting structure. It's not a real structure. We should recommend that be demolished at this point.
Right, and we'll make, so that property right now, without getting into too many details, because I don't think it's quite been finalized yet, but that could be changing hands. If that property changes hands, we'll make that a request at that time for sure. If it doesn't, I'll still make the request. Because I believe that was an accessory structure to the pavilion.
Correct.
That was on the property, or the garage, or the pavilion was the, I don't know how that went, Jim.
The good old-fashioned way.
On there.
Yeah,
I know we've talked about this in the past, and I don't remember where we settled on it. So we'll definitely take it under advisement and see if we can get it down. Okay, very good. All right, Dave, thank you for your efforts there, and I know Dave Radish, he's been busy with a handful of other items as well. So this is our busy time. For the most part, I would say the grass in town looks better than it has in the past. I know it got a little wonky there when we had all that rain and you couldn't get on top of it as homeowners, but for the most part, most of them look like they've been caught up on.
Yeah.
And I know you put notices on doors, et cetera, so thank you for that.
Thank you, Mayor.
Yep.
So while we're on that kind of stuff, Mayor, one other thing. Vehicles that park on the street. I've noticed there is a certain vehicle in town. It's a utility vehicle, cable truck. And after it's home, the operator of that vehicle places cones outside of that vehicle on the street. I view that as an obstruction because you're reducing the lane. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure that's probably their requirement, Spectrum's requirement while they're working. But it certainly isn't our law, right? We shouldn't allow that on the street. And
do you know where it's at?
Yeah, it's on 2nd Street by the corner of 2nd and East. It rotates back and forth, but I'm fairly certain we have an ordinance that prevents anybody and everybody from throwing an obstruction in the street, whether it's a cone or not, doesn't really matter, but it's narrowing the street, and that's been going on for some time, so maybe Mr. Lyons can give us some guidance on how we go about that, but I would think you could probably ticket that vehicle for that.
I'll look into that. I think I know which vehicle you're talking about too.
Right.
And I believe it probably is a policy that probably carrying over even when parking in that area, because I believe that is in the 400 or 500 block
Yep.
of 2nd Street.
But if he's not working, let's imagine that everybody put pylon cones outside their vehicle on the street. It's not a look we want in Fairport Harbor. So if one vehicle is allowed to do it, then everybody should be allowed to do it. And that isn't what we're after here, so.
Absolutely. I'll check into that
Yeah.
more and probably make contact and
Right.
see what the deal is with that.
And thank you.
Okay. Safety Committee? Oh, no, I'm sorry, we're at the second reading of adding an ordinance revising 1149 definitions and adding 113319 wall murals. We're on second read.
Have we had any feedback on that at all from anybody, Mayor?
I believe we may have some this evening. A local artist in town, Beth Lynn, saw me on the Lighthouse Hill eating ice cream before I went on my vacation, and we got to talking about the city of Lake Placid in Florida. And I was able to take a trip there on my way down to Naples and tour their murals, and they've got a really, really, really neat streetscape going on, and what they did with their murals really driving tourism. And I know Beth was asking for our ordinance, and she may have some suggestions to it this evening, but outside of that, we haven't had much scuttlebutt. And I would imagine anything that Beth might suggest would only probably enhance probably the maintenance side of it and materials for use and things of that nature. So whatever gets put on is maintainable, et cetera. And I think I shared some of a folder with some other members of council, and if I haven't shared it with everybody, I certainly was an oversight, and I can. But you can see what they did in Lake Placid, and again, it's really cool. So, but no, that's all I've heard at this point. I don't know, anyone else on council had any feedback?
No.
Okay. So then the safety committee, Mr. Saracen?
I want to compliment Chief Coran. He called me about the position of detective and did a great job, and then it was well needed in the village, and his report speaks for itself. Chief Lloyd, do you have anything further?
No.
That's it.
Thank you, Frank.
Okay, thank you. Have a motion to pay the bills?
So moved.
Second.
Better sign them.
Mr. Saracen?
Aye.
Becknick?
Aye.
McKinney?
Aye.
Heights?
Aye.
Bertone?
Aye.
Shaver?
Aye.
Thank you.
Resolution number 2022-40, a resolution to amend permanent appropriations and declaring an emergency.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Move to suspend the rules.
Second.
Suspend. Bertone?
Aye.
Heights?
Aye.
McKinney?
Aye.
Becknick?
Aye.
Shaver?
Aye.
Saracen?
Aye.
Resolution. Bertone?
Aye.
Heights?
Aye.
McKinney?
Aye.
Becknick?
Aye.
Bertone?
Aye. Aye, you got me.
Yeah, right, I did that. Shaver?
Aye.
Heights?
Aye.
Okay, I think I got them all.
Resolution number 2022-41, a resolution appointing Jacob Smith as a firefighter 1 for the Village of Fairport Harbor, Ohio, and declaring an emergency.
Move to adopt. Second.
Move to suspend.
Second.
Suspend. Becknick?
Aye.
Saracen?
Aye.
McKinney?
Aye.
Heights?
Aye.
Bertone?
Aye.
Shaver?
Aye.
On the motion, Becknick?
Aye.
Saracen?
Aye.
McKinney?
Aye.
Heights?
Aye.
Bertone?
Aye.
Shaver?
Aye.
Thank you.
Resolution number 2022-42, a resolution appointing Sean Roadheaver as firefighter 1 for the Village of Fairport Harbor, Ohio, and declaring an emergency.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Move to suspend.
Second.
Suspend. Saracen?
Aye.
Heights?
Aye.
McKinney?
Aye.
Becknick?
Aye.
Bertone?
Aye.
Shaver?
Aye.
On the motion itself, Saracen?
Aye.
Heights?
Aye.
McKinney?
Aye.
Becknick?
Aye.
Bertone?
Aye.
Shaver?
Aye.
Thank you.
Resolution number 2022-43, a resolution appointing Roland Patchinger as firefighter 1 for the Village of Fairport Harbor, Ohio, and declaring an emergency.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Move to suspend.
Second.
On this, motion to motion to suspend. Becknick?
Aye.
Shaver?
Aye.
McKinney?
Aye.
Heights?
Aye.
Bertone?
Aye.
Saracen?
Aye.
On the motion, Becknick?
Aye.
Shaver?
Aye.
McKinney?
Aye.
Heights?
Aye.
Bertone?
Aye.
Saracen?
Aye.
Resolution number 2022-044, a resolution appointing Nicholas O'Brien as firefighter 2 for the Village of Fairport Harbor, Ohio, and declaring an emergency.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Move to suspend the rules.
Second.
Suspend. Heights?
Aye.
Shaver?
Aye.
McKinney?
Aye.
Becknick?
Aye.
Bertone?
Aye.
Saracen?
Aye.
The motion is Heights?
Aye.
Shaver?
Aye.
McKinney?
Aye.
Becknick?
Aye.
Bertone?
Aye.
And Shaver? Saracen?
Aye.
Thank you.
Does council have anything else this evening? If not, we're open to the public. Yes, sir.
I just wondered if there's been any,
If you come to the podium, state your name for the record. Thank you.
Greg Major, 501 New 4th Street. Has there been any movement on that hole in the ground on 2nd Street? That what behind the creamery? You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I know what you're talking about. I do know what you're talking about. Yeah, Dave Radacci has reached out to the owners of that property, and they did pull a permit to build a home there. And my understanding is that that permit expires in August to start the building. Mr. Radacci was going to reach out to them and see what the status was, because we really want them to cover up the hole. Yeah, so that is in progress.
Well, would that be considered a nuisance? Can rodents live in that? Can we cite them for this without waiting for the August timeline?
Yeah, that's what Dave and I are talking about
Okay.
at present, yes.
Anybody else have anything? Just please approach, and again, please state your name for the record.
Ferguson, also known as Bethany. Yeah, I just looked over the ordinance for the murals, so I didn't have a whole lot of time to research everything, but I've been in contact with different communities that have had murals in their communities for years, such as the Lake Placid that you got to see. And also there's a Punta Gorda in Florida is another area. And they both have sent me lots of information on their bylaws and their everything from the maintenance to the artist agreements and everything. They're very helpful. So some of them are really, really detailed, which I don't know, what you're after here. I also wanted to mention, this is more of a, maybe a future consideration, along with murals. A lot of the communities also have other types of public art, including the place in Florida, such as art on electric boxes, trash bins, poles, bike racks, benches. So at some point, maybe that's something that should be considered as well for regulations. And then looking over the ordinance itself, one line I was wondering about is murals in a downtown required to use the colors listed in the architectural standards. I'm not sure what all that entails, but initially my thought was instead of saying it has to use those colors, to say to be compatible with, because I'm not sure how many colors are in that architectural thing, but
We could share that with you.
it seems kind of limiting. That was just
You would be surprised how many colors are in
Oh,
there.
okay.
Yeah. But it doesn't mean, but your suggestion might be a good one to make too. So we could certainly, maybe what I'll ask you to do, Beth, is maybe get with Amy and let's see what we can maybe move into the ordinance or talk about. Now, the trash can idea, I think is really neat. That was part of the pictures that I took in Lake Placid. They actually built like structures around them,
Yeah.
and they complemented the murals that were kind of close by, and it was a great way to cover up trash cans.
Yeah.
But they were designed in such a way that they were maintainable and not just going to rot apart, you know what I mean? So they weren't actually part of the trash can kind of sat inside of
Right.
it. So I would be interested in seeing some of the rest of that. And I don't know if we put it into this ordinance or if we just continue on with our journey as we kind of move along. But the public art thing is something that's really really neat. So I would be interested in looking forward to that. So if you could email copies of all that to
Okay.
Amy, that would be great.
Okay.
Okay?
So the other things, other areas are the maintenance of the murals, because a lot of these other areas, they cover who's responsible for that and for how long they're to be maintained. And the other thing is a lot of them list the approved and unapproved materials to be used. So that's all things I can share from these other areas that have done this.
Sure. Okay. Thank you, Beth. I appreciate it. Appreciate your passion on this too. Okay. Yes.
Mayor, we did have trash cans before,
Yep.
and we had them painted purple, and the merchants actually put the anchors on them.
Yeah. I
For
remember
years, they
those.
were really
Yep.
beautiful in the town.
Right, actually, I think probably within the last three years, those actually just finally got cycled out.
Yeah,
They finally rusted out enough. But yeah, I remember
It
those
was
in the park
really-
and around the downtown area.
Really added to the downtown.
We did purchase new garbage cans just for the downtown area, and so those are all in place.
Look good.
Shiny and new,
Yeah.
to go with our streetscape in downtown. There are new trash cans also coming for the park. We know that those are in bad shape, kind of disintegrating before our eyes out there. So these are some new green trash cans with rain bonnets on top. So our service department is not taking out bags of trash filled with water. So those will be coming shortly as well.
Good, okay. Carla, you had a question?
Carla Ridozzi, 501 New 4th Street. I was wanting, as a taxpaying resident, I would like to make a request. You put on record that a plan be made ahead of time for the resurfacing of New 4th and Vine. Not until 2025, of course, when the construction of the high school is done. Is it possible to do a plan ahead of time and make sure the budget is set properly so that work can get done in a timely fashion?
Right, and I'm smiling because Christina and I had this very conversation before the council meeting tonight. So I don't know the answer to your question, but I do know that we have been, I don't want to say we've been dragging our feet in that area of town because we knew the schools were being rebuilt, but we've had conversations over the years that maybe that would wait until after the construction. So, I mean, it's certainly something that we'll take under consideration and see what we can do with that. So, yeah, definitely. Oh, I know you will. Thank you. But no, I think it's great that you're thinking about it and we're thinking about it in the same light. So, no, very timely. You know, I appreciate it. Thank you.
I do have one more question, if
Mhm.
allowed.
Yes.
Do you have an update about the water plant situation? And back in 2020, you purchased, and Michael did that $85,000 study.
So, yes, but I'm trying to figure out how to have the public meetings. So, I'm talking with Jim, our solicitor, talking with CT Consultants, to try to put together what that forum might look like. So we've had, you know, we went out for the request for proposals. We got 3 quotes back. We've been working through that process with the 3 individuals. I'm not sure what I'm allowed to speak to as far as dollar figures, et cetera, but we're very close to making a decision on what I would propose to council as our best path forward. But in doing so, I want to be able to have the public meetings and set those up. So Carla, I would say probably within the next month tops, I should be able to pull that together, and then we should have some public meetings to have some dialogue about it. I just need to know what I'm allowed to share publicly and what I'm not allowed to share publicly from a contractual, I guess, standpoint with the other entities. So once I know that piece of it, yes, but the studies are done. I mean, I don't think we could beat this up any more than we have. We've had a lot of conversations with the 2 entities, with 2 of the 3. With CT, with Ohio EPA, et cetera. We're out for funds on certain projects. We're trying to get the HAB, right? The HAB plan and improvement pushed back in case we do separate from water, so we could take those $300,000 that were going to go into that and put them towards something else with keeping the water distribution system. So, yeah, there's been a lot of activity. I just, like I said, I'm just trying to figure out how I can pull it into a public setting and what I can speak to and what I can't.
And when we do go ahead and set up those public meetings, we'll publicize that, and we're looking to have those prior to council meetings. So when we have public, it'll be advertised with the council meeting, much like we do finance and everything beforehand. And then we'll have the folks from CT Consultants here. We'll all be here, and then you'll be able to ask all kinds of questions as we work our way through it.
Great.
Okay.
I appreciate that.
No, I appreciate the question. Thank you. Yes.
Anna Collin, 402 East Street. Just with the mural thing, I wanted to add locally,
The most recent one I've seen is the bridge on Babbitt Road in Euclid. That was done maybe 2 years ago. Linda Wooten, who also does the Collinwood Painted Rain Barrel project, led that. So at least she might be someone to talk with in looking at paint in our conditions, because Florida certainly has different conditions.
Okay.
Cleveland also, a number of years ago, had a campaign, but they have a lot of artists, and so they did a project. And then the other one that I promote all the time that's worth looking into is Portsmouth, Ohio. They did their whole retainer wall that runs along the river is a series of murals telling the history of the town.
Oh, cool.
And then they did subsequent murals on the buildings that are all incredibly realistic. And the artist they had who did that, and this was years ago, it's been there for a long time, he actually incorporated the faces of people in the town in the murals. It's really spectacular.
Okay.
So if you go on their website, Portsmouth, Ohio, you'll see a lot of those pictures.
Okay.
It's definitely worth the road trip.
Yeah, I'll take a quick
But
look.
anyway, they might also be someone, because those, like I said, are pretty amazing, and they've been able to keep them up, and they're all painted on concrete, so it's
Okay.
kind of impressive.
Wonderful.
So they might know the right materials to use.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
There you go, Mr. Bertone. Couple of comments about murals.
Here we
That's
go.
good. Yeah,
Appreciate it.
yeah. Thank you. Okay, if nothing else, I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
It's gonna say don't everybody jump.
Bertone,
Aye.
Heights,
Aye.
Saracen,
Aye.
Shaver,
Aye.
Becknick,
Aye.
McKinney.
Aye.